this is Dale Snyder with the Snyder Group at Keller Williams Realty here in Las Vegas, Nevada. Today's topic of discussion is going to be going over SB 321. Today we have David Wedemeyer with us from O'Grady and Wedemeyer. He's got extensive experience in the residential market, over 2,000 closed short sales, just a wealth of knowledge, so I'm very, very happy to have you here today to go over things.
I'm very happy to be here. Thanks for having me, Dale.
Yeah, you got it. So let's jump right in. So what's this SB 321 all about?
Well, Senate Bill 321, as some people may know, but we're always a little bit behind in terms of legislative and legal trends as compared to California.
Okay.
People may or may not know that California just passed a homeowner bill of rights. The Nevada legislature, in all their infinite wisdom, decided to pass propose, Senate Bill 321, and
okay.
that is Nevada's version of homeowner bill of rights.
Okay.
And it kind of dovetails in because the legislature is reacting to the current market, what people are talking about, what the consumer needs, what they think is the correct way to do things. And essentially what it is, it's a 28-page piece of legislation that provides extra rights to the homeowners.
Yeah.
Makes it more difficult for banks to perform the non-judicial foreclosures and judicial foreclosures, actually.
Sorry to interrupt. You said 28 pages?
Yeah, it's 28 pages.
Yeah.
It's a big, meaty piece of legislation. It's big.
Yeah. Okay.
And something like that, you never know. It's black law. It's clearly defined. There's, for example, even before an NOD can be filed, there has to be contact 30 days prior with, specific information. Then there has to be notification of foreclosure prevention alternatives. There has to be a specific point of contact with the bank, counseling services provided. All these things are really great for homeowners in terms of helping them out and understanding what they can and can't do in terms of protecting themselves from foreclosure.
Okay.
But at the same time, it's to play devil's advocate and to talk about it from the bank's perspective to a certain extent, is it drastically lowers their ability to really move forward with non-judicial and judicial foreclosures. In my opinion, this makes AB 284 seem like a choir boy from the bank's perspective. It's
wow.
You never know. It's a big piece of legislation. You never really know how it's going to affect everything, because once it sets up requirements for the banks to do these things, how are the banks really going to do it? They're smart. If they want to foreclose, they're going to find a way to do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They'll be within the law, but walking on very, very thin ice,
Yeah.
Or, hey, maybe the banks will just decide, gosh, we really are all about the consumer and not about the net, not about our bottom line, and we'll just let them stay in their home for, a year, 2 years, 3 years, whatever it may be. Because right now, I've talked to an individual who hasn't made a mortgage payment, in 52 months.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's insane.
And that's before AB 284. That's before all that stuff. And this, I'm looking at it because if you really shrink the timeline for non-judicials, if it goes, even without the homeowner bill of rights, it's about 4 months, okay?
Yeah.
Generally, and that's if they run it as tight as they possibly can.
Yeah.
People are obviously in their home a little bit long on that, generally speaking.
Yeah.
So this will add, a few months onto that timeline, even if they run it as thin as possible. So you're looking at, if this bill is enacted, people are going to be in their homes for over a year without making a mortgage payment. That's kind of already happening, but this will just add more
time to it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so if they follow the process and streamline it, we're looking at about a year. You're projecting potentially with the 321.
Yeah, close to it. I gotta add up all the numbers again, but it's 30 days before they can file the notice of default. So then you have 90 days, so that's 4 months there, plus an additional 21 days for the notice of sale. But then there's the foreclosure mediation process that's still involved, plus AB 284 is still in effect.
Yeah.
There's just a lot there that the banks have to go through before they can even foreclose at a home. And I'm not advocating either way. I'm just talking objectively about the bill.
Yeah, absolutely. It's making my head spin a little bit here. I'm feeling like I'm back in college trying to do calculus, and it's like you're throwing in AB 281 and the 321 and all this other stuff. It's just very convoluted and can really bottleneck things, I suspect.
Yeah, well, it's difficult because regulation always, it's difficult to not necessarily understand, but how it's going to be implemented.
Yeah.
And obviously, a free market runs very, very differently versus something that's regulated, and obviously there's a need for regulation. But how do we find, the legislature right now is trying to strike a balance. How do we find something that protects the homeowners and allows the free market to, or the market to really do what it needs to do and correct itself and kind of purge itself from the shadow inventory and whatnot. And I mean, just to be a little bit conclusory, I think Senate Bill 321 is very builder friendly, meaning that people want to buy homes in Nevada. If they can't buy a resale or a foreclosure or an REO or whatnot, they're going to have to buy a new home.
Yeah, new construction.
And that's why when the market might be down a little bit, but the people that I talk to and that I personally see, there's new construction cropping up everywhere.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, there sure is. All right. So, in summary, then, with 321, if it were to pass, kind of where is it in the process?
It's in the assembly right now. I'm trying to remember when the vote is, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
You know, it'll be, like I said, it's a big, meaty piece of legislation. So we'll see how it'll really affect. Because AB 284 is, I kind of look at it as like the homeowner bill of rights is little brother, and this is the big bad brother that's showing up.
Wow. So stay tuned. This is a pretty big thing. It could be a big thing if you're the way you just explained it from AB 284, and we've seen the impacts of what that's done to our housing market. All right. Well, thank you for your time. If the consumers have any questions or would like a consultation, how do they get a hold of you?
Well, you can call the number on the screen, or you can reach us on the internet at www.owlawlv, that's one word, .com.
All right, fantastic. All right, well, it's Dale Snyder with the Snyder Group of Keller Williams Realty and David Wedemeyer with O'Grady and Wedemeyer. We appreciate your time. If you found value in this video, feel free to like it, share it, reach out to us if you have any questions. We're here to help and consult you. Have a fantastic day.
But within 30 days of before they're going to foreclose on the property, they're still having to send you copies of your note